Denise DeMeglia with the AlertSite blog, reporting from the 2010 Internet Retailer Conference and Exhibition in Chicago. I'm currently with Kurt Peters, Editor-in-Chief of Internet Retailer Magazine. Kurt, thanks so much for joining us.
Happy to be here.
Great.
Thanks for joining us.
Oh, thank you. Now, the theme of this year's show is Time to Reboot. Tell us a little bit about how you guys came up with that.
Well, during the recession, a lot of people were wondering about what the future of online retailing would be, and they held off on their investments because the future was so uncertain. But it became apparent as sales in Q4 developed last year that the economy was recovering and that online retailing would lead that recovery. And so we thought it would be important to communicate to our attendees that they really do have to be investing in this area. If they want to take advantage of and become winners in the future of retailing, they needed to get their internet strategies back on track.
All right, so what are some of the major topics that you guys are covering this week?
Well, the major topics include, of course, all kinds of marketing, especially social marketing and m-commerce. Those are two areas that are really booming and that people really need to invest in. They also need to be looking at their e-commerce platforms, what their underlying structure is, where they need to make improvements that they may have held off on during the recession.
Okay, and you mentioned the recession, you mentioned the economy. In this new economy, what are some of the biggest challenges online retailers are facing?
I think the biggest challenge will be that consumers have become much smarter shoppers than they were as a result of the recession. They know a lot more about how to comparison shop online. They know how to find the best prices. They know what makes a good online experience. So retailers really need to make sure that their sites offer a good experience, that their prices are in line with what others are charging, and that if they're not charging the lowest prices, they have a strong value proposition to offset that.
Now, you mentioned shoppers have become smarter. How have their expectations changed, too, of these sites?
For one, they're expecting much more responsiveness. People are using Google and those sites, those kinds of sites, so much more than they were even a couple years ago. And they get to Google, and Google tells them, I gave you 5 million answers in 1/20th of a second. When they get to other sites, they have those same expectations. So retailers will have to create sites that are very responsive, that load fast, because if they don't, consumers are going to be out of there and looking for a site that gives them the experience they want.
That's really funny that you mentioned that. We heard a couple weeks ago about Google announcing that they are going to start taking website speed as a factor in determining, search rankings. So just goes to show how important, I guess, that the website speed really is for these retailers, for other businesses. Right,
that's absolutely correct. It will become more important, not just from the consumer experience point of view, but from the Google ranking point of view, to have a faster site.
And are sites performing well, in your opinion?
Many of them are. Many of them could use improvement. I think a lot of people are still in the mindset of 5 or 6 years ago when it was 4 seconds and out. Consumers don't even wait 4 seconds anymore. They want instant response.
Right. So just one last question for you. What is the future of e-commerce? What can we expect in the coming months and, a year or so out?
I think we can continue to expect the kind of growth that we've seen now with the recovery. Online sales are growing much faster than store sales, in some cases by factors of 4, 5, or 6. And when you compare online sales to comp store sales, the factors are even bigger, 50, 60 times as fast as comp store sales. So I think we can expect to see that kind of continued growth. More consumers will be shifting more of their shopping to online. And I think we can expect to see a broader range of how consumers use the internet, and retailers will have to follow them as consumers move to social sites, as they move to Twitter, Flickr, Facebook, YouTube, all those places. Retailers have to get much smarter about understanding that shopping takes place not only on their site but all over the internet.
Well, great. Thank you so much for taking some time to speak with us. Congratulations on a successful show. I know your attendance is up, but thank you for taking a few minutes to talk to us.
My pleasure.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.